Welcome back, folks. My name is LastKnownMeal, and today we're going to talk about Night City Wire Episode 2 and everything we've seen so far. This is going to be a recap of all of the features and weapons they've showed us, so let's just jump into it because we have a lot to cover. First off, going into Night City Wire Episode 2, we did know that they will show more about life paths, weapons, and how Refused became samurai, which is very interesting because it's strange for a band to play another band, and they do actually mention that. So on the life path side, they went more into specific details like the story-wise segments on where you start when you select a life path and what your character actually is, and a perfect example would be the Maelstrom mission, because your life path is also going to kinda determine what you know, the people you've met, and basically how you interact with different layers of society in Night City as well as in the Badlands. So as a corpo during the Maelstrom mission, when you go to the All Foods factory, you will already understand what Meredith actually wants from you, because Maelstrom did steal Flathead from her. As a nomad, you will be able to know how they managed to obtain that, and as a street kid, for example, you won't know that because you don't know how to interact with corpos, but for example, you will know more about the substance which has been offered to you in the game in the Maelstrom mission than a corpo, for example. Because as a street kid or a nomad, as I said, you really don't know how the corporations function from the inside, which I think is a very nice detail when it comes to the RPG segment of the game. We also learned more about the people that we're going to interact with, like for example, during the Corpo gameplay, we saw Yorinobu Arasaka, the son of Saburo Arasaka, and also for a quick second, we've seen the image of Saburo Arasaka, but it wasn't an in-game model, but the in-game model we've seen from Yorinobu, that's actually how he is going to look like. Also, for example, there is Padre, which gives us the card in the beginning. He is a fixer in Haywood, and as a street kid, you already know him because you know the streets and you know the fixers inside and outside of Night City. If you were someone else, like a nomad or a corpo, for example, you will actually meet him for the first time. So obviously the relationship you have with that character is going to be different. I honestly think he has close ties to the Valentinos, so it's a really nice thing to consider while playing. When you do something good for him, it might also translate to Valentinos and how they perceive you. It also makes replayability value really nice because each experience will be different depending on your previous choices and of course the life path. Next up we have weapons. They showed a lot of weapons in this one, some we knew about, some we didn't, and one thing which stood out is definitely the melee combat or katana gameplay, which looked nice here, much nicer than before in my opinion, especially how they handle collision and when you slice enemies how they react. I think it was nicely done. Then of course we have ranged weapons. I think the animations and overall design of the weapons is great, especially the details on the weapons, because let's face it, all of them look gorgeous, and how we actually moves the gun. That is going to change, because the more you use a weapon, the more skill you have with it, meaning it also changes the animations like aim down the sights animation, movement animation, etc. That also includes the katana. It might look janky at the beginning until V gets the hang of it, so yeah, also keep that in mind. So the types of weapons and, well, parts of the weapons we have are cyberware, melee, smart, power, tech weapons. Then you have throwables, weapon mods, and attachments, which I'm really looking forward to. Different weapons will have different bonuses. We will be able to change a lot of stuff like we've seen when they kind of break down the guns. This tells me that all of this can be changed, but they only kind of show the scope, but I guess it's everything else. I mean, it wasn't confirmed yet, for example, that we can change the stock and the trigger, but it has been shown here, and that tells me it might be. On top of that, different ammo gives you different bonuses and chips you put into the weapon to make it stronger. And by the way, I like the idea that they have Katana and Tanto, which is it's a smaller blade essentially, so you have two types of that if you were looking forward to that. Smart weapons are also here. We knew about them from the 48-minute demo, and smart bullets actually track the target. So if you have, let's say, 8 weak enemies in a room. A smart rifle, which has 8 bolts, can attack all of them at the same time, I think, so it makes clearing rooms a lot easier. And also smart weapons are for people who don't really care much about shooting, so they want to clear the room very fast, or maybe that's just your style. I mean, they're cool. And more Mantis Blades combat, which shows more gore and blood, which I was kinda scared that there won't be too much gore and blood, but I was proven wrong. Keep in mind, some enemies which have metal, like let's say metal head or metal neck, when you slash it down, they won't have that much blood, which kinda makes sense. Now, I will be making an in-depth video about weapons tomorrow, like no worries, I will be going through each and every single one of them, so definitely stay tuned for that. Also, when it comes to Refused becoming samurai, it was a really nice short video. I'm sure that, not all of us were interested in it. I, for example, was very interested to see the process, but it's definitely tiring to get the right sound, but very normal when you have certain standards. And I'm really glad that Refused managed to absolutely nail that role. And so far we have 4 songs, 3 previous ones which have been already released, and one which has been released a couple of like an hour ago, called A Like Supreme. You can stream it right now on YouTube, Spotify, etc. Now, Next City Wire is probably coming in October, so we still have time until that, hits, but yeah, my assumption is definitely October when it comes to the episode 3 of the Night City Wire. And we also had Radek, who released some new screenshots showing a level 50 V and what weapons that V uses. So check it out, I will leave the links in the description for all of it. And yeah, that's it for this recap news video. A lot of new content is coming this week, so don't forget to subscribe for more and join our growing community on Twitter and Discord. Also, I made a Patreon page. If you were looking for an extra way to support the channel, you can check it out down below. And huge thanks to my current Patreon supporters. This is LKM signing out, and stay classy everyone. And honestly, thank you all for the recent support. It's been amazing. Bye bye.